There are lots of videos about cheap car mods you can do to your car, but I think a lot of the time, most of them aren't really effective, or they're not really mods that actually make a difference. So I'm going to give myself a spend limit of around $500/pounds, and we're going to find some mods that actually will make a difference to your car. Not just cheap gimmicky things, but also not things that cost $5 like turbo kits. For me, one of the biggest things you can do to your car is buy a decent backbox. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying a full exhaust system because that is very expensive. I just recently spent around £200 on a stainless steel backbox for my MX-5, and yes, it's not a V8, it's just a 1.8 inline 4, but it does sound really good. But I do think if your car from factory isn't particularly the best sounding or the loudest car, a little cheap backbox can actually go a long way. Don't get me wrong, some can sound awful and they sound like fart cans, but I mean, I got really lucky with mine. Mine sounds pretty good. But yeah, definitely make sure to do a bit of research before buying one of these things, because you just don't want to be that one annoying that one annoying car at every car meet, or even worse, getting the police called on you for being too loud. Another great mod that's not too expensive but also gives you a little bit of performance as well is a decent air intake. Now, just like an exhaust, these things can cost a lot of money, or they can be very cheap, but somewhere in the middle you can get yourself a really good performance mod that sounds really good and gives you just a little bit more power. I don't think you would notice much, but it's still something. I really want to get a K&N air filter for my MX-5. One thing that I also think is quite cool about them is when you do pop the hood, it's something nice to look at, which I guess you could also say about an exhaust. I mean, a nice stainless steel exhaust does look really nice. Another thing that looks really nice on a car, which is less to do with performance and more to do with looks, but it can totally change the look of the car, is a new set of wheels. Now, before you just jump to the comment section and start putting in, well, most of them are above $500/pounds, yes, that is quite true. However, what I will say is there are a lot of great budget wheel options out there that people overlook. For example, one of the best wheel brands I know is JR, and I know they get a lot of bad rep, but I don't really understand why, because I can't find anyone who's had a bad experience with them. One of my close friends has always bought them, and actually has had them on his MX-5, and even put them on his BMW, and they work fine. I mean, he's not really had any issues with them. And just a side note, his BMW E46 is a drift car that he drifts quite a lot. I mean, he does drive the hell out of it, and the wheels have held up fine. There are definitely a few budget wheel brands out there that aren't the greatest, but I mean, brands like JR do pretty good wheels for cheap. I mean, I will also add the fact that you can buy pretty decent second-hand wheels off places like Facebook Marketplace and eBay, but obviously the condition of the wheels might be quite poor, so do be careful. But nice wheels do make a massive difference to the look of your car, so I do think this is a really good one, but like I said, it depends on what wheels you buy. This next modification ties in quite nicely with the wheels, but I genuinely think this is the best modification you can do to your car. I do think, although it's not really a visual thing, it does make the most difference, and that is a really good set of tyres. And honestly, even if you just need new tyres over the old ones, it makes a massive difference. I mean, tyres are literally the thing that connects your car to the road. You know, it's the reason, it's how your car moves, it's actually how your car can put power down. So honestly, a new set of tyres or a decent set of tyres that won't set you back too much can make a massive difference in the long run. And you can get them for a little bit cheaper than most other mods just because they're quite disposable. But in my opinion, probably one of the most underrated and most important mods you can do to your car. Now, another thing that sort of goes alongside the wheels and the tyres, and I also think this completely changes the look of a car and also the feel, and that's just from simply buying some good lowering springs. Now yes, you can get coilovers, you can buy air suspension, but that's really expensive. When just a set of lowering springs can set you back around $150–200/pounds, like it's not that much money, and they really improve the look of the car in my opinion. And I mean, cars like my MX-5 have definitely not been blessed with the best ride height in the world. But this sort of thing can be fixed with a set of lowering springs, and like I said before, they don't set you back too much money, and they also improve handling and performance, so definitely worth a little investment in my opinion. In my opinion though, I do think all of the modifications combined in this video can transform a stock car quite a lot, and I know it's nothing crazy like a body kit or a turbocharger kit, but I think these sort of cheapish modifications can get you quite a long way from where your stock car originally looked. And of course, a lot of these things can improve your handling and your performance, which obviously is probably the most important reason why you'd upgrade your car. Anyway, please subscribe if you enjoyed this content. It is free and you might as well. And if there's any cheap modifications you can think of, then let me know in the comments below. I will see you in the next one. Ciao for now.